All right, welcome in to the Daily Fix every day around this time, 12 Central Standard Time. Yes, I am a little bundled up. Got the scarf game going, got the hat game going. Snowing in Houston for like the first time in 5 years, but we're having a good time, man. And as I said, it's the Daily Fix every day, 12 o'clock, right there in that little itty bitty box where he rightfully belongs. The beautiful Stephen Serta. Say hello to the people. There he is. There he is. There he is. We appreciate you taking the time out and listening and watching us. One thing I would like you to do, if you have not done so, please head to our social media channel, Foolish Club Media. That is Foolish Club Media. Hell, follow us on Twitter. Follow us everywhere. But head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Like, subscribe, get all the content that we'll be doing. We'll do even more in these postseason rounds. Not just post-game show, but pre-game shows. We'll do a lot of different things. Coming up tomorrow, Brian's World Beach season earlier, and showing BK all of that. So like and subscribe so you can get all that content here. All right, not going to hold you too long. Marcus Freeman, just fell short. We'll get into kind of what came to my mind going into yesterday's game and national championship game as Ohio State beats Notre Dame. And then the Chiefs unfair, they've got a couple of them, but this is one of the unfair advantages that isn't talked about, that I don't even think teams know until after the game, and then they probably convince themselves other things. But this is a big unfair advantage for the Chiefs. But I want to start here. Sort of give you my 2 minutes. Damn, Travis Kelce. I ain't going to lie to you. Steve, tell me the truth. Did you think Travis still had that in him?
Not really.
Nah, I mean,
a little bit, but not that.
I mean, I want to say, hey, man, I knew Travis I didn't know Trav was going to have a catch and run for 49 yards.
I didn't think he had that in him.
Right,
he had 49-yard run in him.
And I'll be frank with you. As I was watching it, I still don't know how it turned into 49 yards. Like, people are now bouncing off of him. He used to have this wiggle and speed for running for tight end. If you're trying to have memories, go back to a few years ago, and go back to the Charger game where they ended the game on a pass to him, and then go watch that 49-yard rumble that he had Sunday. You'll see where the speed and the juice has left Travis Kelce. But he's got 14 straight postseason games where 70 yards or more, and then he has his best game of the season, 7 for 117. And then and a touch. And we saw a little bit of the old little Travis where he was giving us a little bit of action. You know, he ain't really been giving us a little bit of that action. Stared down Azeez Al-Shire on the ground when he caught that touchdown. I was wrong. I said, we talked about it here, sort of. Like, I don't think Kelce needs to throw on his cape for this team to win. They just need to be solid. I was wrong. He damn sure needed to throw on his cape for this team to win, and he threw on his cape. And some of it was wild to me. One, at first, I can't believe he was just that wide open at times. And then we started to see, all right, they adjusted. They put, I don't know why they didn't put Derek Stingley or Kwame Lasseter on him, but they went with a corner of Miles Bryant. And then he even showed there, yeah, man, I still got enough wiggle right now to win one-on-one matchups with corners. So I didn't know Travis still had that one, but he showed off. There, I guess it's true. It must be a playoff Travis.
It's, I expected him to have some huge moments in this game, like a big catcher or making a play that, like, only he, the future Hall of Famer, could make with Mahomes or something like that. But to be the absolute focal point of the offense, to carry them on the offensive side of the ball the way that he did, I wasn't totally sure that he had that now. They're certainly not going to be able to do that against the Bills. Like, they need someone in the wide receiver room to find an impact in that game. But it was nice to see that Travis still has that, and that he can still step up in these big games and be the focal point of the offense that he has been in years past.
Yeah, I think so. I know last year when they played the Bills, he was still the focal point and the number one receiver for that team. And now yes had a big catch down there, and Rasheed did some things, but he could very well be the guy again like it was last year. That game against the Bills, he had the big game, had 2 touchdowns, and made some big plays in that game. So it does look like he does flip a switch when you kind of look at it. All right, let me get to here the Chiefs' big advantage, and this is kind of us kind of going towards Sunday's matchup to try to get to the Super Bowl. One of the unfair matchups, and we saw it in the Houston game, and we've seen it all season long, Steve, is Chiefs opponents damn near have to play perfect, play their best game or close to their best game to win and compete and play with the Chiefs. And sort of the Chiefs just don't have to. They don't have to. Now, some games are different, but most games the Chiefs play, sort of their opponent has to be perfect and not make mistakes. And the Chiefs are fortunate that they can, because Mahomes can pick up mistakes. Chris Jones in that defense with Spags can pick up mistakes. Kelce and Mahomes together can pick up mistakes. Andy Reid can pick up mistakes. Other teams aren't able to do that as much. And we saw in that game against the Texans so many mistakes that they made. Hell, the Chiefs weren't perfect. Now, they didn't make turnovers, but they made some errors. They missed some receivers. They fooled around on third downs, had Shamari Connor lined up as the primary defender on Nico Collins. But they can make it up with sacks with Chris Jones or something like that. So that's kind of the thing that the Chiefs have. Now, Steve, I will say Sunday's game to me is not an opponent that is one of those games. I don't think that the Chiefs can just, enter that game and not play perfect football and have success like they've had most of the year. I think this is a game that this is a team that is on their or near their level, and that they can't just fool around and screw things up. But most teams, I'd say 90% of the teams, the Chiefs don't have to be perfect or close to it. This is one of the games, though, against this Buffalo team that I think that they have to be closer to that.
Yeah. It is like there's one team and I mentioned last week, maybe the Ravens are playing better and their defensive turnaround gives me more pause. But all season long, I was like, I feel like the Chiefs have the number of the Ravens better than they do the Bills, because the Bills, even though we talk about how the Bills don't have a ton of all pros, they don't have a ton of superstars. It's Josh Allen is the one guy that you can't replicate across the league. And Josh Allen gives the Chiefs lots of problems. And Josh Allen has dragged this team to an AFC Championship game. And they've played well and they're coached well and everything. But what they don't do, similar to what the Chiefs have done over the last 8 games, is the Bills don't turn the football over. And they also force a lot of turnovers, and they capitalize on those mistakes in ways that other teams don't always do. And so the Chiefs can't have mistakes. The Chiefs just simply can't turn the football over. They have to keep that going, because Buffalo is the one team, you give them a turnover, they're going to go get 7 points off of it. They're not settling for field goals. They're not going 3 and out. They're going to go score, and they're going to capitalize off of those mistakes.
Well, I don't necessarily know that I'm 100% just saying that, that they're just going to score touchdowns on this defense. We'll see about that. I just don't think, I think you put yourself in a much difficult place, obviously, but I mean, comparative to other teams in the league, I think you put yourself in a much more difficult place if you have those breakdowns. Not just turnovers, but confusion on stunts, or confusion on protections, or drops, or things like that. I don't think they're able to make it up as much. All right. Finally, last night, the national championship game, college football, is over. Marcus Freeman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish fall to Ohio State. And Ryan Day, who, honest to God, sort of, we talked about it on here, I thought might have been on the verge of getting fired after that debacle against Michigan at home. Well, they come back and win a national championship over Notre Dame. And Notre Dame made it interesting, but it It eventually went towards Ohio State. The thing that gets me, man, about this though, and I know there are going to be some people that are annoyed with this, and that's fine. I just like there's still sometimes when I hear first black person to do this in sports in the year 2025 that still just blows me away. Like Marcus Freeman is the first black coach in college football to have ever coached for a national championship or coached in the national championship game or coached in a game that was even close to made decision for a national championship game, let alone win one, but have just coached to play in the game in 2025. It's like, damn, that's a first that shouldn't still be out there. I get, hey man, Marcus Freeman's the first black coach to coach a team to a win in the Stanley Cup. Okay. All right. I can understand that. All right, hey, maybe some NASCAR first blacks. All right, I get that. College football in 2024, where most of the coaches are former players that played in the sport, it is wild to me when you see that. Now, we'll see who's the first to win it, but just to think in 2025, we're still in a place where we got like easy first black person to do this things. It's wild.
It is a little bit shocking, but then it's like, well, when you think about it, prior to this season and the expanded college football playoff, it's like, who are the teams that were there every year? And it's like Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, like Clemson, like
this is, I mean, this is even before the BCS and stuff. Just like, but when you come to think about it, you said ain't nothing about 13 or 14 black coaches in all of college football anyway.
Yeah.
So it is. That is wild. Wow. Well, glad that one's marked off the list. I'm sure there are some other ones out there, first black to do something in sports that feels like, how the hell are we here with that one? All right. Hi, Mom and Courtney.